first Sunday of Advent. And I would like to read what the Catechism of the Catholic Church says about Advent, what we celebrate, and how we have to understand this wonderful season that the Catholic Church gives us to meditate, to celebrate. You can find that in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 524. When the Church celebrates the liturgy of Advent each year, she makes present this ancient expectancy of the Messiah, for by sharing in the long preparation of the Savior's first coming, the faithful renew their ardent desire for his second coming. So we celebrate the first coming of Jesus Christ, and by celebrating his first coming, we also celebrate this desire. I don't know if we have the desire that he is going to come the second coming. And I'm saying that because how the Bible describes that second coming actually is not very nice. He comes as a king, as a judge who is going to judge every single human being. And that is pictured again in the Bible as an event, again, not very nice. So, but the Church says we have to desire that second coming. We have to live as a church in continual expectation of the second coming of Jesus Christ. So, we celebrate the first coming, but we know that that is back in history. But we celebrate that he is going to come again, and that the second coming. There is something that the Catholic Church, the Catechism of the Catholic Church doesn't say, but that is very important. It doesn't say anything here, but the Church says that in other places, let us say. When we celebrate that, we celebrate an event that is in the past, and we expect an event that is coming. But that has to affect our present life. And Advent is all about that. How these two events, the one who is in the past that happened, that beautiful Jesus, it's nice, we like Christmas, the song I was driving today, and it's beautiful to listen to those Christmas songs. It's a beautiful season, Christmas. So we celebrate that. We know that he is coming. And I'm going to talk about that second coming based in the gospel. How it's going to be that. We know that we don't know when he is going to come. That we know, for sure. We know that we know that we don't know anything about his second coming, about the time he is coming. And because of that, the gospel says we have to be ready, prepared. Okay, let us go to the gospel. The first thing that is beautiful, and I was preparing the homily and reading, and it's interesting how St. Matthew says that the second coming of Jesus Christ is going to be as in the days of Noah. What happened? Most of the people were not prepared. They were eating, they were drinking, marrying, which means they were having a very normal life. Everything seemed normal, that nothing extraordinary was going on. Actually, I was reading that and I was saying to myself, I feel the same thing. Nothing is going on, nothing special. Everything is normal. If you see your life today, what you did this morning, I guess many of you, or maybe all of you, can agree with me. It was normal. Nothing special happened. And this is the main characteristic of the second coming of Jesus Christ. Everything is going to be normal. Nothing special is going to happen. And when the Bible says that it's in the surface, it's normal. you are not going to see nothing special. And because of that, you have to be ready, because it's going to come like that. And after that, the Bible uses, St. Matthew uses an image to describe that second coming. It's going to be like when a thief comes into your home, into a home. I always say that any thief is going to send you a letter telling you, okay, be ready in a week at 7 p.m. or whatever. I'm going to be around. No. Any thief is going to do that. They are expecting when we are not expecting them to do what they want. And the gospel says the second coming of Jesus Christ is going to be like that. We are going to be in a very normal life. We don't know that he is coming, and all of a sudden he is there. So that day is going to be a surprising day. It's going to it's going to give us a beautiful surprise. Let us say it that way. And there is another thing that Jesus Christ in the gospel says. At the beginning he says, you do not know on which day your Lord will come. And at the end, so too you also must be prepared for at an hour. So he says first day, and after that an hour. So it's to emphasize that we have to be ready every single moment of our life. Not only every single day, every single hour, minute, we have to be ready, because he is coming and he is going to give us a huge surprise. Remember, he is coming as a judge, a loving judge, but he's going to be as a judge. I have to say, and it's very important to say that, it's not only a judge, because there are many judges that are not loving judges, but this one is a perfect lover, so he loves us, but he is a judge. We have to keep both together, I think. In this way, we are not afraid, but we are not saying like, oh, nothing is going to happen. No, he's a judge. He's going to judge us, but with love, in love and for love. This is how this judgment is going to be. So we have to be ready. That's the point. Advent, the season of Advent, wants to emphasize that we have to be ready. And the Catholic Church has always interpreted this second coming not only as an event that is going to come in the future, but the Church has interpreted that as the day of our death. Think about that. And I always thinking about that without being obsessed. You take your car and you know what's going to happen. You can say it's not, I am a good driver. You can be the best driver, not only here in Charleston, but in the entire world. But if you are unlucky that day, the worst driver is going to hit you. And it's your last day. You know what I mean? I don't want to be tragic. I just want to be realistic. That can happen. So that's why we have to be ready. So now you're going to say, how we can be ready. I want to go to the first reading and give you what, in my opinion, is a beautiful way to get ready for that second coming of Jesus Christ. I'm going to read what the prophet Isaiah says. In days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established as the highest mountain and raised above the hills. The prophet is talking about a time of fulfillment where Jerusalem is going to establish at the Jerusalem. I have never been in Holy Land, but in the Bible it said that it is in the hill, on a hill. So the prophet is saying that in those days where the Messiah will come, that hill is going to be the highest here in the entire world, which means that it's going to dominate the entire world, which means that Jesus Christ, the Messiah, is going to be the Lord of every single human being. This is what it means. So now let us see that in a spiritual way. Advent is a time to make Jesus Christ the Lord of our entire life. Let us continue with the same image. We have different mountains in our lives. I'm not going to put any name to those mountains. Each one of us has to do it. There are mountains that are competing each other to be the highest one. Call it whatever you want. You are following me? Advent is a season to make Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the highest mountain, the Lord of the entire mountains. Again, name those mountains you have. We all have different mountains that are in constant conflict, trying to be the highest one. Advent is a season to allow Jesus Christ to be the highest mountain and to be the one who dominates all other mountains, to be the Lord of our entire life. How beautiful it is to see Advent season as a season for that, to allow Jesus Christ to become the highest mountain, and in that process to knock down those mountains that want to be higher than Jesus Christ, the lowest ones. Again, you have to put names to those other mountains that are not Jesus Christ. I'm going to say how I like to say it. The mountain with capital M and the mountains with small m's. They're all of them fighting to be the highest ones. We all have that mountains, and we all have in our life those fights. But Jesus Christ has to be the highest one. When we, in our life, are able to put Jesus Christ at the highest mountain, we are fine. He can come anytime. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a surprise day for us, but we are ready. And when we have to do it, St. Paul says to the Romans, you know the time. It is the hour now for you to awake from sleep. It is now. Advent, and the church says, it is now. We have this, as human beings, this tendency to say, tomorrow I'm going to do it. Don't you? I remember when I had some things to do when I was in the seminary, for example. It was at the end of the semester, you say? Semester, I was saying, I have a lot of time. It was always like that. But I don't know, for some reason, when you have a lot of time, you say, you postpone that. Next week. And I remember the last week I was doing it because it was the following week. But we like to postpone things. And in the spiritual life, many times to us, that happens. We see that day, everything is normal. Again, remember, it's going to be normal. You are going to see anything special, nothing. You can say, right, no, I'm fine, everything is fine. Why do I have to bother about that? I have time. I don't know. Don't postpone that too much. Because remember, he's going to come one day. And an hour that you don't expect, and you have to be ready. Advent is about that. Right now, we have to do it. Do our homework right now, because we don't know when he is coming. We know that he is coming, but we don't know when. So let us pray that we may be able to, as Christians, to be in a continue Advent and be ready when he comes into our lives. That he become the highest mountains. And in that way, the other mountains are going to be knocked down. We are going to be ready for his coming. Please stand.